I got a headache listening to Aaron Rodgers today. I got to admit. And I don't get it. A lot of people make this mistake. Just own up to your error, or if you misled people, or if you weren't clear and you want to clear it up. But that's not what we got from Aaron Rodgers today. It's just not. It was everything but. Let me tell you that I know better than everybody else, and this is what I did, and I never said I was vaccinated, or I said I was immunized, and, I'm going to follow the NFL protocol that I think is good enough, and then he even went out of his way to mention Martin Luther King in his conversation. Then Pat McAfee, hey, it's great. You get Aaron Rodgers every week. There's nothing better.
We'd love to get Aaron Rodgers every week.
Exactly. But can you push back? Can you ask any follow-up questions? Can you ask him to elaborate and explain better and tell us why he feels he's different from everybody else? And that stuff. And then the Aaron Rodgers, seriously, the woke mob is after him, and Rob G, the cancel culture. Lamar Jackson said he didn't get vaccinated. Has he been canceled, Rob G? Just help me out.
No, he has not.
Okay. Who else do we have?
Josh Allen is not vaccinated. As last I checked, Rob, not only is he not canceled, but he is the Vegas frontrunner for NFL MVP.
There you go. And even in Minnesota, right?
Kirk Cousins, not vaccinated.
Kirk Cousins, not vaccinated. They just came out and said they're not going to do it. They don't want to do it. Aaron Rodgers could have done that. This whole notion that, the woke people are after me now and they got a narrative going on. No. The problem is you misled people and you put other people in harm's way without them knowing. That's why people, Rob G, have their panties in a bunch. It's Lamar Jackson said he wasn't vaccinated. We all know, if I've talked to him, if you're a reporter, put a mask on, keep your distance. Am I right?
Yep. If
that's all we're asking.
He was being honest from the very beginning with Lamar Jackson. Even Carson Wentz, right in the very up front, I'm not going to get vaccinated. It's a personal decision, yada, yada, yada. That's fine. And that means that anybody who is around Carson Wentz and they know what to expect, if they're comfortable with it, cool. If they're not comfortable with it, cool. But as long as you guys know and everybody's under the same understanding, there shouldn't be an issue with anybody. This is not Kyrie Irving, where him not getting vaccinated means he can't play. That does not apply for the Green Bay Packers.
All it means is that Aaron Rodgers would have to follow different protocol. That's it. That's all it means. The NFL doesn't have a policy forcing it. If you worked at certain jobs in certain places, Rob G, if you're a state employee in certain states and cities, there's ordinances and work rules, and you got to follow them.
Yep.
And if you don't, you can't work. It's simple. You could get another job at a place that doesn't have that. It doesn't mean you can't work. You just can't work there. And companies are allowed to set their own press. People have challenged it over and over, mandates, and they lose in the Supreme Court every single time because it's about public safety. You have a personal choice. But I also have a personal choice to know that I have a chance of being safe at work. And I'm not put in a hazardous situation. That's all. Let me know. That's all we're asking. So let's hear first Aaron Rodgers talking about that. He didn't lie.
First of all, I didn't lie in the initial press conference. During that time, it was a very, witch hunt that was going on across the league, where everybody in the media was so concerned about who was vaccinated and who wasn't, and what that meant, and who was being selfish, and who would talk about it, and what it meant if they said it's a personal decision. They shouldn't have to disclose their own medical information and whatnot. And at the time, my plan was to say that I've been immunized. It wasn't some sort of ruse or lie. It was the truth.
It was a ruse. It wasn't true. It wasn't. Is he talking about being immunized when you're 5 years old, Rob G, so that you could go to school?
I think
Public
so.
school?
His hepatitis B shot and all that stuff. Yeah, something like that.
We all had to be immunized. Guess what? To go to school, right?
That's right.
Everybody. Hello. Otherwise what? You can't go to school. You know what I found out too, Rob G?
What's that?
If you don't get immunized in the state of New York, you can't even be homeschooled. Did you know that?
Wow, I did not know that.
Yes.
I did not know that.
Because guess what? Teachers and guidance counselors have to interact with the kids. It ain't just your parents and you never see any teachers or anything. Did you know that? Yes.
I had no idea. That is surprising, actually, to me.
Yes. In New York State. I don't know about the rest of the country. So in order to go to school, you got to be immunized. We all have the mark on our arm, don't we? We all do.
Right. Now, Rob, you mentioned that he was being dishonest, or if he wasn't being dishonest, he was being deceitful. He was going out of his way to make sure that I'll give you a little bit of the truth, but not actually give you the truth. So during that interview with Pat McAfee, he went on and said, you know what, I'm not going to get vaccinated. So I started the appeal process with the NFL about why he didn't need to get a waiver to not get vaccinated and still follow the vaccinated rules, so he can be the rest of the team who are vaccinated. Right. Here's what he said about that one.
After they came back and said, no, you're unvaxxed, I said, okay, I'm going to appeal this. In that process, we had many conversations, but one in particular stood out when I knew I was not going to win this. I had a meeting. One of the main docs said, it's impossible for a vaccinated person to get COVID or spread COVID. And at that point, I knew that, I was definitely not going to win the appeal.
Now, Rob, when I heard that, I was shocked. I was shocked when I heard. I said, "Wow, I can't believe they would actually say that," because I have heard that kind of stuff in the very beginning when we didn't know a lot about vaccines. But over the next month, 2 months, 3 months, they said, "No, that's not the case at all.
Absolutely.
You can still spread it." Blah blah blah. So the NFL heard that statement by Aaron Rodgers, puts out a very strong statement to several NFL reporters. Says, "Quote." No doctor from the league or the joint NFL, NFLPA infectious disease consultants communicated with that player. If they had, they certainly would have never said anything like that.
Absolutely. Now, nothing's 100%, Rob G.
Right.
We knew that. And we also knew that what they've said is the chances of it being as severe because of people who are vaccinated. That's why when you talk now about the facts and figures about who's in the hospitals, like 95%, 99% are unvaccinated. People who are vaccinated don't have the same symptoms and are able to fight it off a little better than the people who aren't vaccinated. Nobody said it was 100% or a cure-all. So even that statement, and that's why the NFL, of course, pushed back immediately, because that doesn't even sound right, that would come out of a doctor's mouth, does it?
No, not at all. And that's what's kind of surprising to me, Rob, is, they say this thing where if somebody's a liar or they're dishonest to you from the beginning, it's hard to trust them later. Now, Aaron Rodgers made the mistake of lying about his vaccination status right in the beginning, back in August. And once we found out that he was being dishonest, it's hard to believe him going forward.
Right.
Because you
lose credibility.
Yeah, you lose some credibility. And what's funny is I can tell you that the majority of football fans, if they say, hey, do you trust the NFL league offices? Most of them would probably say no. They didn't like the way they handled Ezekiel Elliott, Tom Brady, Ben, whatever it is. They think that there's some backdoor dealings. They don't trust Roger Goodell. But you know what's funny is because Aaron Rodgers was caught in a lie already, people are probably more likely to believe the NFL in this regard, who they don't really trust that much to begin with, because this guy he just got caught lying.
Right.
So why would I believe you now?
And that's the situation. And here's the other part. Is the cover up is usually worse than the crime, right, Rob G? Like Aaron could have I misled people. I didn't want to be out public with it that I'm not vaccinated. I made a mistake.
Right. I thought it was a personal thing. I didn't really feel like this guy. You know what? He could have even done this back in August and said, if this is true, because what he said in the interview, you know what? I have an allergy to some of the ingredients that's in the vaccine. It's not worth it to me to take the vaccine because it would be a risk to my health. And I promise you, not a single person would give Aaron Rodgers issues for being unvaccinated. We're like, hey, this guy's got a legitimate reason. He's got an allergy. I don't want him to get sick. I don't want him to get hurt. I don't want to be hospitalized. Hey, Aaron, take care of yourself. I hope you're the best. I'll keep you in my prayers that you'll be fine. in all
no,
the situation.
no doubt, and that's what didn't go on and didn't happen.